All right, guys, welcome back to the online driver ed course. Wanted to make it just another quick little video about some current things going on here. First of all, students should be on Module 3, if not wrapping up Module 3 by now. A lot of students have passed Module 3 and even finished with everything, which is awesome. Currently, we're here on March 2nd. The end of the third marking period is March 24th. So those students who are still back here in Module 1, Module 2, it's time to play catch up here a little bit. So if you could, again, kind of give those people a little nudge, that's me giving a nudge, that would be greatly appreciated. Last thing I want to see is people not doing well here in the marking period, especially when it's something that you can do on your own time. So I want to talk a little bit about Module 4 and then talk a little bit again about the grade book here coming up. So inside of Module 4, this unit or this module talks all about being in a vehicle and some of the things that are equipped in most of the vehicles that we're going to be driving in the rest of our lives, at least modern vehicles in the rest of our lives. So first thing in here talks about the instrument panel, dashboard, what most people know. It talks about what some of those warning lights and gauges and things like that might mean. Each vehicle is a little bit different, but for the most part, they have a lot of the same types of things on there. This is an assignment where students are actually going to get into a vehicle and they are going to locate and actually use some different things. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a second specifically. This is a video that talks about how to adjust your mirrors. And believe it or not, even experienced drivers, I know when I first watched the video that's in there, I made a little bit of some changes with how my mirrors are adjusted to help you see more. All right. A lot of people, when they look into their side mirrors, they see the sides of their vehicles, or the opposite, where it's so far out that you don't even really see in the lane next to you. It's even further. So this talks about how to adjust those mirrors properly. Also talks about the rear view mirror a little bit as well. The next one, we start to talk about the gear selector indicator. Some people call it the Prindle, PRNDL. So in this assignment, students are going to go into a vehicle. They take a picture of whatever type of transmission they have. So if it's an automatic transmission, it's going to be those letters. Manual transmission, it would be the numbers with reverse. And they're going to explain what each gear does. So what is park for? What is reverse for? Neutral. A lot of people don't know when to use neutral. Right? It's on there. We don't really use it that often. We've got drive, and then oftentimes there's a lower drive. Sometimes it's called 1, 2, sometimes L. Might just be that the overdrive is off, whatever it might be. All right, so each vehicle, again, is a little bit different. Students are going to explain what those are. This is an ed puzzle assignment. Again, a video where it stops asking questions about how to adjust the seat and steering wheel properly. One of the things is the distance from your chest to the steering wheel needs to be at least 10 inches away. And the big thing with that is for airbags. Right? If you're closer than that 10 inches and an airbag deploys, it's going to cause a lot of physical harm. We want to make sure that there's plenty of distance there where it's going to help keep you safe in a crash, but not actually injure you worse than what it needs to do. The seat adjustment, again, is something that's kind of interesting to see as well. Then there's a quiz at the end. It's out of 10 questions. Students have to get 8 correct to be able to move on. I want to get into this getting familiar with your vehicle. I move this out of the way here a little bit just so you can make sure that I don't show student names here. But the way that this assignment works is students are going to get into a car and they're going to do these 11 items that are right there. I would highly recommend that you be there as part of this, especially those students who don't have a permit yet or haven't really done much in terms of being behind the wheel. And it might even be that you have to show them how to do some of these things. All right. The left and right turn signal, I know a lot of people get confused which way to go. Easy way to remind, if you want to remind your son or daughter of this, as I turn the steering wheel. All right. If I'm turning the steering wheel to the left, I don't know what that looks like in the camera here, but as I do that, my left hand is going downward when it would hit that turn signal lever. So as I turn left, I push down to the left. As I turn right, I would push up. All right, so that's one of those little tricks that you can use to get students to remember which way they need to do that for the right and left. These other items are all things that you should know where they are as you're going down the road. If you have to stop and look for them, or you're looking for things as you're going down the road, obviously that's unsafe. All right. If I know all of a sudden it starts raining, I need to know where my windshield wipers are right away. Or if mud is or debris is on my windshield, how do I do that windshield washer fluid? Right. Things like that, that again, we kind of take for granted as being experienced drivers. So students are going to video this. They can do it with their computers. They can do it on a tablet. They can use phone to do it. If they're not sure how to get the video from a cell phone to Schoology, I have a video right here they can click on and it shows them how to upload it and go from there. One of the things that I always get in response here, and this is the last module before the end of the marking period, is I get kids that say, oh, well, I don't have a vehicle at home because my parents are gone for 2 weeks, which might be true. I'm not saying it's not true, but they need to get to this point where they know it's coming up. I've already told students that they're going to have to use a vehicle, and that's not a great excuse, right? You've had all this time to get this work done. So if you could just, again, kind of help me out with that a little bit, I'd appreciate it. This is one of the only times where they're really going to get into the vehicle and kind of play around with it a little bit. They're not driving anywhere for this assignment. Don't need to drive, just need to turn it on in the driveway, in the wherever it is, and do this. And if you have questions with that, please let me know. If there's a circumstance where you just don't have a vehicle available or something like that, a friend, a neighbor, a relative, if you can have access for 5 minutes to a vehicle, that works. If that isn't possible, let me know, and we can certainly make some modifications there. The next thing I wanted to talk about is going to take place on Monday. Monday is March 6th. So unfortunately, sometimes it takes some students seeing that they have missing work to actually get caught up and do it. So in the grade book on Monday, any work that has not been completed in Module 1 is going to be recorded as missing. In Schoology, which is what we use, when I put missing assignments in there, in PowerSchool, it's going to give them a 0. That does not mean they can't do the assignment and get full credit. That is not the case at all. All right. If they do the assignment, they'll get their full credit. I just put the zeros in to kind of motivate students to get that work done. It's only going to be assignments from Module 1. When we get to the 13th of March, then I'll go into Module 2 and put in missing. The following Monday, I'll put in Module 3, and then we have Module 4 left there. All right, so I'm just giving you a heads up. If all of a sudden you see your son or daughter's grade go from a 90% to a 60%, that's probably why. All right. In the PowerSchool gradebook, it'll just show a 0. Unfortunately, it doesn't mark it as missing. If you do look in the gradebook, which is over here on the left side, it says grades. If you look in that, it will say missing within Schoology. If it says missing, then I hope it's obvious that they need to do that assignment. Again, if you have questions about any of this, I'm rambling on here and I need to end. But if you have questions, please let me know. I want us to all be on the same page. That way, if you see something that's going on there and you might question why, that's the reason. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. And I'm sure I'll be back again next week. See ya.